with the softball season in full swing ahead of a 5-game weekend this weekend coming up from Rosemont, Illinois. We have a chance to sit down now with Kristin Ortman, the softball head coach for UW Parkside. So, Coach, coming off of last week, and you played 4 games in Missouri, but that wasn't originally supposed to be the case. You were originally supposed to play 6 in Arkansas. How do you kind of have to change up your game plan as a result of that, going from playing 6 games, changing up the location, changing up the teams you played, only playing 4 games?
Yeah, so unfortunately the weather made us change our locations, which I think being an outdoor sport, you've always got to be able to adjust and know that at any time you could be at a different location. So we were excited that we were still able to play. So we headed down to Drury and they hosted 4 teams and saw some great competition and came out 3-1.
Yeah, you said great competition. You guys also played fairly well in that tournament as well, picking up a 3-1 record over the weekend. One of the big things of the weekend was your pitcher, Alyssa Hernkar, had a very nice weekend, a GLVC Pitcher of the Week where she pitched 14 innings, gave up 9 hits, 1 earned run, and 4 strikeouts as a freshman too. You're obviously a pitcher background, so how do you think for her as a freshman to find her confidence this early on in her career, pick up that GLVC Pitcher of the Week honor? How big was that for her?
I think it was huge. I mean, she is a competitor, so she competes every pitch. She has been a stud at her high school and has been a part of a lot of competitive summer teams. So I think knowing that as she came in, that we know she'd make an immediate impact for us. And like I said, she just competes every pitch and she likes to get the job done. So.
You talk about pitching, but you also talk about batting. I mean, there's 2 sides of the sport in general. Your leadoff hitter, Jessica Shields, has had a fantastic start to the year as well. Has been hitting very well from that leadoff spot, sitting at .464 right now, a .607 slugging percentage, and a .531 on-base percentage. When you talk about like getting your team going in terms of batting, how important is it for you to have somebody that can come off and hit as well as she has as well as this year?
Yeah, I think it's huge that she's our leadoff batter, so she starts our offense, and we've actually been the visitors a lot of the time, so we always say that we want to score first, and being in that position, and obviously the more runs you put up, it helps your defense and your pitching. So, and the great thing about her is her speed, so when we get her on base, she's able to steal some bases and then let the middle of the lineup really score her. So she's been great for us so far, and I'm excited to see what she's going to continue to do.
So we mentioned that, I mean, obviously you moved from Arkansas to Missouri last weekend. The thing that is kind of understated about that is the fact that you're practicing in an indoor stadium, and then you go to Missouri and play outdoors. Does that kind of throw it off maybe a little bit that you have practiced so much indoors and then you play outdoors? Obviously it's still the same sport, but there's a little bit of difference there.
Yeah, it is, and I think one of the challenges is that when you go down south, you know that you're going to compete against teams that have been practicing outside, which is just different for your outfielders, and being on dirt is different than the field house and turf. So our team adjusted really well, and I think we're excited to be outside and just ready to play. So came out and competed.
So 4 games last weekend, 5 games coming up this weekend down in the suburb of Chicago, Rosemont. You're preparing for 5 teams in 3 days. How do you kind of go about that, prepping for so many different teams, so many different faces, so many different players over the course of just a weekend?
Yeah, I think that you know that one of our toughest competition will be against Winona. So I think that we prepare for them, and knowing that if we can beat them, that we'll be able to beat everybody. So we just go with your toughest competition and then kind of adjust from there.
So how do you think you use this entire schedule that you guys have had at this point to kind of prepare for the gauntlet that is the GLVC schedule this year and going forward?
I think that this weekend will be a great test for us. It's a good mix of the GLIAC schools, which is obviously where we're moving to next year, so we're going to see some really great competition. And I think that we'll be able to kind of scout some of our opponents. The GLVC will be there, so we'll see how they're lining up against the GLIAC schools. But when we went to St. Cloud, Upper Iowa and St. Cloud, they're both really great programs, so I feel that our preseason schedule's tough, and we're handling it pretty well so far.
So you guys sit at 4-4 right now overall this season. What's kind of your outlook for the rest of the season and how everything has gotten up to this point?
I think that really just that we're going to keep moving forward, keep building off of where we left off last year, and so far the team has proven to do that. We've come out stronger offensively already, and it's fun to see them hit and execute with runners in scoring position. So keep moving our program forward with wins.
The UW Parkside Rangers softball team sits at 4-4. As we mentioned this season, they will go on the road to the Rosemont Domes this weekend for the Rosemont Invitational. Kristin Ortman, thank you for joining us very much, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.